In today's video, we're going to be going over some ultra versatile men's fragrances that you probably aren't wearing. So these have what it takes to be able to withstand daily use and work in a variety of seasons and situations. But they are a little bit more under the radar, relatively speaking, which gives you this advantage of being able to choose one of these and actually stand out and have something that maybe other people aren't wearing or potentially haven't smelled before or even heard of. So kind of going a little bit deeper with this video, but there's a lot of great options in here. You know, just because these haven't been necessarily blown up and really popular doesn't mean that they're not good. I find a lot of these to be really, really good, and some of these I'm surprised that they didn't take off as much as they haven't. So we're going to start off with a cheap one here. We have Ferragamo Uomo, and this is Casual Life. So, you know, at the end of the day, we hear about the original and signature all the time. Those are by far the two most popular of the lineup, the sweetest ones. And then they have the two fresh ones, this one and Urban Feel, and you just never really hear about these all that often. Between the two, you really can't go wrong with either, and you could have put Urban Feel in here as well. I think typically I'm reaching for Casual Life a little bit more. I think I prefer this one, but it just depends on the day. It has violet leaf, musk, and coffee, so the coffee note is what it does it for me. Now, it's not like an overly sweet coffee note. It's a relatively mild, just subdued roasted coffee note in here, along with the freshness and the citrus and the aromatic components of the scent. So it's not full-blown coffee, but it does give it just a little bit of a twist, kind of an unexpected twist, but it does work really well with the scent overall. And to me, for around $30 to $35 is what this usually goes for. It actually is kind of unique. It's kind of an interesting wear, one that, again, a lot of people aren't talking about. You might just look at it and automatically make the assumption that it's, I don't know, maybe boring or not all that good just because, I don't know, sometimes we tend to do that. But give this one a try. You know, next time you're placing an order somewhere, throw it in your cart, you know, 30 bucks or so, and you might be surprised with how much you like it and with how much use you can get out of it, because you realistically can use this year round. There are better options for certain specific times of the year, like winter right now. You know, you would have better luck with some other things, but if you just wanted something that could be worn year round, this could work. That's the point of this video. Not everybody wants to have a collection dedicated to every single little specific situation or season or whatever, and so that's, again, why I chose the ones that I did. Now, let's say you have a little bit more money to spend, you want to step it up and go with something with a little bit more of a premium feel. We can get you into niche, so this one is a bit more expensive, but it's actually not horrible. I'm actually surprised with the price that this one is going for on discounters. It's Roja Elysium. This is the Eau Intense version. Love the frosted glass, first of all. Love the bottle presentation. Really, really cool. Love everything about it here. Sharp looking. Okay, and the price, I think I saw it around, I don't know, 160, 170, and that's full presentation. And keep in mind, this is 100 ml too, so that's 100 ml, full presentation niche, and that's not a bad price. For the longest time, regular Elysium was going for well over 200, like 220 or so, 230 sometimes on discounters, and that one has dropped down a lot too. It's kind of dropped just a touch below 200 as well. So these have actually gone down in price a little bit, which is nice to see. And again, you know, for niche, a lot of 50 ml niche is going for this price or a little bit more, just to put it into perspective. So you've got double the amount here. Not to mention, when you take a look at this compared to the price of Dior Sauvage, when we talk price per milliliter, this is actually cheaper. You know, just again, another thing to paint the picture here, because sometimes we still see niche and we automatically think it's overpriced, when in reality, some of this niche is actually more affordable than newer designer releases. This one has rhubarb, grapefruit, juniper berries, and of course has that signature vetiver note in here that Elysium is known for, along with all the other notes, you know, the black currant, the grapefruit, all of the other fruits and citruses. There's so much. The note breakdowns on both of these are extensive, right? But I just listed off the ones that kind of separate the two there and focused on those. But even though this is called Eau Intense, I actually find it to be a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit fresher than the original. So kind of the name doesn't make as much sense. And also, when you look at the gradient bottle, it looks more like an Eau Fresh bottle than an Eau Intense. That's always been my kind of my 2 cents, my gripe with this flanker, is the name feels a little bit misleading compared to what you get in terms of scent and even the bottle presentation. So just don't think of it as a more intense version of Elysium. Think of it as actually a lighter, brighter, potentially more summery take on Elysium is really how I look at it, because man, it smells absolutely great. I love it. You know, it just has this nice, bright, refreshing opening. Now, Elysium, the regular one, does as well, but this one is a little bit more airy, a little bit more watery perhaps, and just, again, it's more summer leaning to me. Regular Elysium focuses heavily on that vetiver note that I talked about already, and I do wear it in summer all the time, but it can be a little bit too woody, a little bit too heavy sometimes. This one's a little bit more aromatic, just a little bit more light, fresh, and refreshing overall. I would say more cooling, as how I would describe it too, which gives it ultimate versatility. Spring, summer, fall, winter, it will work. Again, right now in winter, there are better options, but if you wanted something that could work year-round, this will do it. It's also a great entry-level niche, too, at the price that it's at. That would be a great place to start to dive into the Roja lineup. All right, going back to the more affordable end of things here with Carolina Herrera Chic. So you never hear about this, really, and you never really hear about Elysium Eau Intense either. Again, the point of this video is since that people aren't really talking about or wearing all that much. People talk about the regular Elysium all the time. Eau Intense, kind of forgotten. Same thing with this. I mean, how often do you hear about Herrera Chic? How many of you even knew this existed? I featured it a few times, so if you've watched the channel, you've seen me talk about it before. And I'm not saying I discovered this. This has been around for ages, but just isn't something that is all that popular. And I think it should be. You know, it smells really, really nice. And do you want to know how I'll describe it, right? I'm just going to keep it super simple because a lot of you will be able to easily relate to this. It's a more mature version of Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct. We're just keeping it as simple as that. This one has watermelon, sandalwood, cardamom, pepper. So it's a little bit woody and peppery in the mid-dry down, just like First Instinct. Has a nice melon note off the top, just like First Instinct. You can see exactly where I'm going with this. They really do smell pretty similar, but this one is a little bit more refined, a little bit more mature, and maybe a little bit more premium smelling. So you can definitely tell where Abercrombie & Fitch was pulling inspiration from, right? It doesn't feel like a coincidence because of how similar they are. I would bet more often than not that's kind of what they were going after. But the Abercrombie & Fitch did get popular. I mean, First Instinct is a really popular scent, and I still love that one. And it's a little bit more affordable as well. But I think this one, in terms of versatility, is going to be the better pick because it's a little bit more woody, a little bit more sweet, whereas to me, First Instinct is basically summer, daytime, casual, and that's it. Not something I would wear any other time, whereas this one could potentially be used in a little bit more of a formal environment. There are better options, but I think the versatility of this one and the overall usability is going to be a bit greater, which is why I chose this one instead. All right, this next one is from YSL. It's from the L'Homme line. I was questioning why I don't feature this and wear this more, because as I was doing this video, I was kind of revisiting everything, and I came across this one, and I'm thinking, man, this smells absolutely amazing, but nobody talks about it. Literally nobody. This one is completely forgotten. It's YSL L'Homme Cologne Bleue. I really, really enjoy this a lot. It smells wonderful. And again, we just don't see this stuff. Now, C notes, grapefruit, lavender, orange, and geranium, along with a ton of other notes as well. So another huge note breakdown. I mean, it's really a solid, solid scent. Oceanic, cooling, refreshing. It has this kind of spring, summer vibe about it. But at the same time, there's a lot of notes going on in the base, a real nice soapiness, a nice musky undertone to where this could be extended into the cooler times of the year. And again, I'm not going to keep saying this, but you understand what I'm saying. It's not a winter scent, right? But in terms of overall versatility, this is the type of thing that can be used really whenever you want. If you're just looking for something to spray and go, something like L'Homme Cologne Bleue is going to be the option. And I think that's maybe what they were going for. They were going for somebody, or trying to target a guy who wants to buy one thing and then just be able to wear it whenever. They want that simplicity. That's what this is. Now, the performance is maybe where people don't like this as much, although I think about that and then I think, well, what L'Homme fragrance does perform exceptionally well? You know, I'm going to bet on none of them, or at least none that are in production. Maybe some of the older, heavier, sweeter ones. Maybe L'Homme EDP, that one performs pretty good. But no L'Homme or La Nuit de L'Homme scent has ever been known for world-renowned performance, okay? And so I don't know if that plays an issue or not, because again, none of them are. So just go into this one with that in mind as well. Not a beast mode scent, but if you need something for just a couple hours out of the day, going to run some errands, going to do this or that, a quick little meeting, or you're just around the house and you just want to smell like something, you want to smell clean and fresh, this is it, man. Really, it is, and you can use it for anything. Up next, we have one from Azzaro Chrome. You know, we hear about Chrome Extreme all the time, nice profondo twist, but what about Chrome Parfum? Don't really hear about this one as much. This one has bergamot, sage, and fir resin, kind of the more aromatic variety, which is pretty trendy right now. You see this very, very often. It's a very common style of scent, just aromatic focused, with some citrus and some, you know, ambergris, amberwood, or whatever. That's kind of what trend we're into right now, and you see it countless times. And this is one that kind of follows that path. So whereas Chrome Extreme smells like Acqua di Gio Profondo, like I mentioned, Chrome Parfum really doesn't smell like anything in particular. So this one, not really as much of an inspired by like Chrome Extreme was. But for around $40 to $45, you've got a product that you could wear anytime, and I think that's pretty powerful. All right, now this next one is going to be by far the most popular one out of this video. This is one that probably does get worn outside of the community a good amount, just because it's kind of built for outside of the community people. But when we're talking like within the FragCom, you're not really going to see this one popping up in a positive way. It probably is going to get a good amount of pushback more often than not, but it's one that I actually really enjoy, surprisingly enough. It's YSL MYSLF. This is actually the Eau de Parfum. I love the Parfum, the Le Parfum version. I've talked about that one a lot. Really, really like it. At the end of the day, if I had to choose one, I still would prefer that one, but that doesn't mean that I dislike the EDP. Now, in the beginning, I wasn't overly amused by it, but over time, after smelling it more, it started to grow on me. It just slowly worked its way in to where now I really like it. This one has bergamot, orange blossom, ambro fix, and some patchouli in here, so it's bright and floral from that orange blossom, and then it has a little bit of a woody, masculine dry down from the patchouli, and of course that ambro fix giving you that ambroxan, bright impression that you would expect from a modern day scent, especially from YSL. I mean, the whole Y lineup essentially is built around like an amberwood accord, so, you know, with an aromatic twist. So instead of going overly aromatic here, they're going more white floral. And same thing with MYSLF Le Parfum, although that one is a little bit sweeter. So, you know, you could go either direction for this video. The Eau de Parfum, a bit brighter, a bit fresher. Some might prefer that, but some also might prefer the added depth and even the higher concentration of the Le Parfum. It might still be an Eau de Parfum Intense. I don't actually know for sure if it is a Le Parfum, but it does perform a little bit better. But yeah, I do enjoy this one. It smells nice. It's not anything that's gonna completely blow you away, but not really the point of this video. Running down to the end with Lacoste L'Homme Timeless. I've talked about the original, I've talked about the Intense. Don't really feature this one as much, and I do like it. It's a tea-based scent, and I do love tea and fragrances. Not utilized all that often. I think there was a point where it was kind of a trend and it was being used here and there, somewhat, but other than that, not really. It has rhubarb, tea, and cedarwood. Still has some of that classic Lacoste L'Homme smell, you know, that rhubarb orange smell. You're still getting that, but the tea gives it this nice freshness. It's a tea similar to what is used in something like Creed Silver Mountain Water. I'm not saying this smells like the Creed. It doesn't. There's quite a big difference. This doesn't have that inky, slightly sweet type of smell that the Creed does. But the tea note in particular reminds me of the tea that's used in Silver Mountain Water a little bit, which I really like. Again, it immediately makes the scent stand out because of the fact that it's not used all that much in men's fragrances anyway, or at least in men's designer scents. Given that freshness with a little bit of that woody dry down, it could be used all year round, although primarily I think if you wanted to pick one season for it, it has spring written all over it. And last up for this video, Dolce & Gabbana The One Gold. So this is, oh my gosh, that's just embarrassing. That is a fingerprint magnet. Usually I don't care about this stuff because who really polishes their bottles just to show them on camera? This is just real life. You use this stuff and they get fingerprints on them. But that one was bad. So there we go. The One Gold, the cap is still bad too, but this one is really bad for that. So you never hear about the One Gold, right? You hear about most of the other ones, but not this one. It has blood orange, clary sage, and cardamom. Very aromatic, very fresh, very soapy too, which is surprising considering it's a Dolce & Gabbana The One, which is you know, built upon a tobacco and amber scent DNA. You get none of that in here. So this smells nothing like the one, right? It gets way away from that. Instead, it truly is more of a daytime aromatic, soapy, fresh, and kind of clean variant. Plenty of woods going on as well, so it's not what I would consider to be a straight up fresh scent, right? But it's considerably more fresh than most of the rest of the lineup. I do enjoy this one a lot. You just don't hear about it all that often. It's one that you could pick up for, I don't know, like $60 on discounters most places for 100 ml, full presentation. Just overall, really nice deal for a wearable scent. If you can get past the atrocious fingerprint magnet of a bottle, you know, then that'll be good. And chances are, you know, in normal lighting, you're not going to see them, but when you've got 3 big lights shining right on you, it amplifies that a lot. It does have a cool mirror finish, though. It is a pretty cool eye-catching bottle. And this was back before all of the new Elixir fragrances were doing just pure gold, so they were kind of ahead of the game on that. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for me. Some ultra-versatile fragrances that you just probably aren't wearing. I will put links to these down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.